Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel,
Hi,
and tonight's guest is Anthony Smith.
Hello.
and welcome.
Long time no chat.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Anyways, so this last weekend, Corey's got a book out. We don't need that tonight. We don't need your topic.
Oh, good.
I'm just kidding. We do. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but Corey was tasked at having a topic, and he didn't have one.
Yeah. Well, nothing interesting happened recently.
Well, we can come up with stuff. If we don't come up with stuff, we're just like every other podcast that's talking about the things that just happened.
That's what we do.
Yeah, most of the time. But we've played games, and we've talked about different things. And no, I had we'll do your topic in a second. But I just wanted to talk. This last weekend, I went through my shed, my attic, my spare rooms, closet, and everything looking for my Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And I found my Dreamcast first, which makes sense because it's more recent, I guess. I found my Nintendo, and last I found my Super Nintendo. And I found all the hookups. And unfortunately, I only found 3 games when I have probably more like 20... Super Nintendo games. And I was thinking I really wanted to play Super Mario World with Parker and to a lesser extent Oliver because he likes to play but he can't do the jumps and stuff quite yet.
When does the come out? Super Nintendo Retro?
Classic?
Whatever.
November?
Yeah,
But it's going to be near impossible to get. It's going to
be more impossible than the NES?
Yes, more impossible than the other one because they're already starting to cancel people's pre-orders because they're not going to be able to meet the demand for people that have ordered them.
They're just printing money.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why they ever decided that they should only sell the Nintendo for a season for one.
And that's another thing is that if people are going to be like, okay, well the last one was only out for 3 months.
Yeah.
I better get this one before it's impossible. So
it's trippy.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but the only 3 games I found were Super Mario World, Street Fighter 2, and Super Mario RPG. And the Super Mario World doesn't seem to work as well as it should.
Does all that hook up to your TV?
Yeah, I have on the back of it, I have a AV cable. That's a specialty cable that hooks up into, you still have the, red, white, and yellow cables.
Felt like my TV may have that, but when I tried to play the NES on it a long time ago.
The NES doesn't have the audio-visual hookup like that.
Oh, it's not just a cable? It's a different
no, the one that used to screw into...
Yeah, it's coaxial, not RCAs.
Well, this one has, what is it, RCA? Is that what it is? This one has a RCA attachment to Super Nintendo.
Okay.
So, I'm sure you can find an attachment to hook the...
At the time I played it, I had an old TV.
Yeah.
It's like an actual... What do you call the big TVs, not the flat screen?
Tube?
CRTs.
CRT, yeah. And we played on that. But...
But so we started Super Mario World. We played one level and it froze, and then we went back into it and it had deleted all the save files.
Super Nintendo could save?
Yeah.
I never owned one.
Really?
I skipped a Nintendo generation every time.
Doesn't it save on the cartridge?
Yeah, it saves on the cartridge.
Okay.
The same thing as Nintendo 64.
That didn't save to the system?
It saved on the cartridge.
Didn't it save to the controller? Isn't that where you put the memory card in?
That was Dreamcast.
I think that's Nintendo 64.
No, it's Dreamcast.
What? Dreamcast had the memory card in the top. And you put it in and it had a little LED screen. It's not LED screen. It had a little digital screen on it too.
64 had the 3
I know.
handles.
I didn't have a Dreamcast. That's why.
Wasn't there a slot in the back?
I know they had
the controller
of Dreamcast.
No, the Dreamcast one was in the top. It slid in the top of the controller.
Nintendo 64. I thought they had a rumble support.
That's what it was.
But I thought it also was for memory cards.
I'm pretty sure you saved on the cartridge.
God, I guess we'll look it up at one point, but that's funny. I can't remember how. I know PlayStation back then had the memory sticks for 1 and 2.
Well, with that said, I put Super Mario RPG on. Mm-hmm. And all my save files are on there. I have the top 3 save files, and they're all...
Don't let your kids delete it.
Finished? No, there was a bottom one, so we started a new game.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want these to accidentally get deleted for something. So we just ended up, after unpacking everything, we ended up just buying Super Mario RPG on the Wii on the
virtual console?
The virtual console, and we've been
Is
playing
virtual
it.
console on Wii U?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we've been playing that, and that just led me to
Did you have to buy new controllers?
for what?
The virtual console? Does it work with
It works with the regular one.
Some games I think require...
Well, that's the same buttons that had as the Super Nintendo had. The A, Y, B, and X.
Okay.
And a D-pad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same thing. But it led me to a question that I just wanted to ask on here before we get to whatever your topic is, Corey, is what one game can you pick up at any time and it be just like you played it the first time and you remember, like, everything about it? Mine is Super Mario RPG because I can pick it up and I still remember all the secrets. I have just as much fun as the first time I ever played it. Like, playing through it, it's all I want to do is play that because it's in my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on the day, it might be my number 1 favorite game. I love Super Mario RPG, and I just start playing it with Parker. I'm loving it.
First one that comes to mind, which I say is my favorite game ever, the one that you guys never heard of, Vandal Hearts, but it's a way lesser known one, but plays just like Final Fantasy Tactics. I think I played that enough. I think I can still remember where the secrets are in that game. That just comes first to mind. I think if I replayed a lot of old games, I probably would forget everything. Final Fantasy VII, I think I remember a lot of it. I bet you I would not.
Much.
I don't know. That's the first one that comes to mind. I mean, first-person shooter games. What's there to remember? So I don't know.
I know, but I mean, like, could you pick up Halo 2 and it just be like, oh god, like, it's just as fun as it was? It might be a little dated because of the graphics, but truly great games, the graphics don't matter. It's the gameplay.
For me, that's how Kingdom Hearts 1 is. I played the remastered version of Kingdom Hearts 1, and it just, right when the first load screen comes on, it just, all this nostalgia just, comes back, and you remember all these things. I can remember every secret, every, postcard in the first level, where they're at, all the locations, everything. I remember everything about that game, and anytime I've ever played it since the first time I played it at my house when you brought it over on PS2, I remember the first time I ever played it. That's always going to be like the most nostalgic game, I guess.
To me, that game has one of the best intros. After you play the little intro, the Japanese music kicks in, and those were always like super cool intros for those games. Disney and I was going to say SquareSoft.
Square Enix.
It's not Square. Yeah, Square Enix.
Yeah.
Well, it was when Super Mario RPG is Nintendo and Square. So I mean, but the Disney and the Square together, Square Enix, it was a really good match.
And it will be again.
Yeah,
Soon enough.
I'm sure.
I've seen some gameplay like that just got released, and it looks like really good.
Toy Story?
Yeah, when they're outside of the house and they're fighting in like the front yard.
Yeah.
That looks
the
sick.
scale is kind of cool because I was like, oh, it's a room. Okay, I see it for a wall. But then you go up and you go outside. I was like, oh, it's like a whole street.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I saw gameplay for Last Guardian for a long time too.
I wanted to play that. It kind of throws me off, though, the difference in the animation between the monsters and the actual character that you are in Last Guardian. I feel like it's like the character you are. I don't know its name, but it looks like more cartoony than like the rest of the actual game.
I'm just saying that I won't believe that a new Kingdom Hearts game is coming out until it's actually out. Does it have a release date yet?
No idea.
No, it's
Why are you assuming it's not going to come out?
It's because they've been talking about it for years and years and
Well,
years
they
and
have, like-
years.
It was supposed to be the exclusive for PS3 when PS3 came out, right? I remember
Kingdom
when the
Hearts 3?
Yeah, because when the PS3 came out, it was a big deal that Kingdom Hearts 3 was supposed to come out for the PS3.
Oh. Well, considering now, like, there's legitimate, like, actual in-game gameplay with voice acting accompanying it. It's not like...
There was gameplay for that StarCraft Ghost game.
Yeah, but...
I know it's going to get released.
That's like the most high-profile canceled
But
game.
you could see the game getting delayed. I mean...
Potentially.
I think it's because of Star Wars. I think there's going to be a Star Wars level, and they have to complete like the majority of the Star Wars movies. They haven't released any information on it. That's just my own little conspiracy theory on Kingdom Hearts.
The thing is there's so much new Star Wars material already with Force Awakens and Rogue One being out, that there's enough for them to use whatever they want. So I don't think it would be that, but I mean, you never really know. I mean, the game has to be pretty well into its developmental stages right now.
Yeah.
For them to be showing off full gameplay and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shadows of War comes out in October, man. We were just talking about that before you came over.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. The villain system in that was unlike anything else. That's just
Nemesis system.
It was so much fun. Is that what it's called?
Nemesis.
It was unlike anything else, and just because like my bad guys wouldn't be the same as your bad guys, they were just randomly generated bad guys, and the tier system was super cool.
It was a legit game. Probably my second favorite Lord of the Rings.
What was your first?
Probably. I have a soft spot in my heart for Battle for Middle Earth.
Is that the RTS game?
It was the RTS game. Okay. I played through that multiple times. Like I
played all the Lord of the Rings games that were like the action adventure games, like the hack and slash
games.
Those
are good games too.
So good.
Like I don't want to undersell them. I only had played Return of the King, but because they only had the two towers in Return of the King.
Yeah,
right?
They didn't have.
Right. Okay, they had the two towers, and
some of the levels were hard.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome game. I played the Lego one, I guess.
I think I like the Third Age the most.
Oh, I like the Third Age a lot.
I always wanted to play it.
That was a good game.
Yeah, you may be talking about it.
You could go back and play as like the enemy and stuff. You could play as like the orcs and Uruk-hai and stuff.
I don't remember that, but
yeah, you could.
I don't know. Do you remember downloading like back when you download demos, Lord of the Rings Conquest? It was gonna be like Star Wars Battlefront.
I owned that game.
I wanted to buy that game for so long. You can't find it now for anywhere for cheap. They're all like $100 on Amazon.
I have it if you ever want to play it.
I played that demo a bunch. I know back when I didn't have enough money to just spend. I guess I don't remember why I didn't buy it. That was freaking fun.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor though, that was the best Assassin's Creed game they ever made.
Yeah, I just wanted to go over that real quick before we did whatever it is that you have, Corey.
I wonder if there's any Nintendo games I could probably go back and own, like you did your Super Nintendo.
Super Smash Bros.
I don't think I not to make secrets of that, but
oh yeah, that's true.
I liked not just Mario Kart and the little tricks and secrets shortcuts that you could take in that, but F-Zero, if you ever played it. Did you ever play F-Zero?
Nah.
Did you ever play F-Zero?
Mm-mm.
It was like a futuristic racing game and stuff, and there was a lot of secrets where if you hit your turbo out this certain way, you could launch your car off the ramp and land on a separate jump ramp to jump off in front of people. And those were like cool things, like if your friends didn't know about it yet and you would do it real quick, you could kind of like
is that anything
spin it on them.
Like Star Wars Pod Racing, Episode 1 Pod Racing? You ever play that?
On N64? Yeah.
Such a fun game.
Yeah, I played a bit. That and...
I think I played like 3 different games based on
Snowboard
Episode
Kids.
1. Snowboard Kids?
Yeah.
Remember Cool Borders?
Cool Borders was fun too.
Yeah, I remember having...
Snowboard Kids was like a snowboarding game, but had elements of like Mario Kart, where you could like launch stuff at people.
Okay.
Unless I'm misremembering it, but that could happen too. We
Diddy Kong Racing?
I never played that.
Oh, I love that game. I haven't played it in like way forever ago.
Hondo rented the pod racing game from Blockbuster, and he liked it so much he took one of the games he had and he X-Acto knife cut the label off and put it on the other one and took it back.
Shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
I played that game a bunch with my brothers. Like
it was a good game. It may not have been a good game, but it was a fun game.
I think it was fine enough for a racing game. Whatever skin it had on it, but yeah, legit.
I played a lot of Rush. What is it? 2064.
Yeah.
Too. That was a lot of fun. That had a lot of alternate paths and stuff. I
played all the Twisted Metal.
I was gonna say Twisted Metal. We played a lot of Twisted Metal.
I
can't remember if it was 2 or 3 we played the most of.
I think the way you described it to me was 3 one time because it had Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 3 he did the music. I think 4 he was a character.
He wasn't a character in the one I played.
Then you played 3, made by 989 Studios.
Yeah.
I just remember the intro. I don't know why. I remember thinking because the first 2 were made by the same people, and then I thought 3 and 4 weren't as good, but they were, my point of view, fine. But it was a different studio. I remember always thinking that. And then when they released Black, it's the same studio that made God of War. I can't remember Santa Monica, whatever they were called back in the day. They made Twisted Metal Black, and that fucking killed it too. I like that game. So dark.
All right, Corey, what do you got?
Well, okay. Well, should we talk? We should talk about last Game of Thrones. Just
You want to get in on it?
Well, I mean-
This will be the third one in a row we talk Game of Thrones. I mean, it's hard not to when
Yeah.
it's on.
so. If I imagine if there's anybody who actually is a big fan of Lannisters, which they shouldn't really be. I mean, though Jaime's cool, but who likes Cersei?
Nobody likes
Nobody.
Cersei.
But if anybody has fans that are, if anybody
They were
are fans
happy
of
this
Lannisters,
episode?
the last 2 episodes, they must be ecstatic.
Oh yeah, she's won something in every episode. Something
Yeah.
good has happened in her favor in every episode.
Yeah,
so
but now
far.
it looks like Daenerys is going to launch dragons.
Maybe.
That's somewhere somebody's getting burned.
Hopefully, she makes the peace with Jon Snow
Yeah.
now. And
Well, let's start there. What did you think of the conversation between her and Jon Snow? She comes off so arrogant every time she talks to me now. Not
She
talks
talks
to me.
to you?
When she talks, she comes off so arrogant that I'm just like. And then towards the second half of the episode, she kind of pulls it back.
Yeah,
and she
they-
actually listens, and I'm like, okay.
they have a one-on-one.
Yeah, that's what I expect from her. I don't expect her to be.
Granted, I see where you're coming from. And I think the producer said afterwards that both these people don't know each other. We've watched them for 80 hours now, But it's just, they both probably think of each other as not having gone through all that shit. So for Daenerys, it's just like, oh, there's this bastard who abandoned the Night's Watch, and now he's Lord of the North. Before...
Does she know what the Night's Watch is?
I'm sure it was described to her at one point in time, but don't know in detail. Anyway, but she probably knows what the Wall is and who defends it, but probably not much more than that.
Why do they defend? Why do they defend the wall on the wall if there's not any White Walkers? They're defending from wildlings.
You think that's what she thinks?
Well, if nobody else believes that there's actually White Walkers, then why? And how can you not believe that the possibility of White Walkers are there if
Well,
you
it's
have
this
fucking
dragon.
dragons?
I feel that. And I think the argument's been made in the show. It's the biggest proponent that things do exist. Because why would you build something 8,000 miles long and 300 feet high
Yeah.
to keep out humans? But, yeah. So, with that in mind, the fact that they didn't show each other, the respect that they probably deserved, I thought was cool.
I thought that they should have talked about more. Jon Snow didn't mention anything about Dragonglass. He was just like, yeah, come help me, fight this army of the dead or whatever, and she doesn't believe him, and it's just kind of... They didn't really achieve much in their first conversation.
If she would have agreed to help him with the dragons, then he wouldn't even need Dragonglass. Because if they can be killed by fire, they could just fly above and just rain down dragon fire.
Right.
We assume White Walkers can be killed by fire, but every time there's been flames, White Walkers walk right through it, and the flames extinguish because their bodies are so cold. So, I don't know what's... We'll see when it happens.
Yeah.
When it happens, Dragonfire is supposed to be the hottest thing ever, but it's Song of Ice and Fire. I don't know what will happen, bro. So,
There was a lot of good stuff, though, except I feel bad for one of the underrated characters I like. Grey Worm is awesome, and now he's at Casterly Rock, and he's... Obviously, if anybody can get out of it, he can, but he's kind of trapped there.
that battle, it was glossed over. It was being narrated,
Yeah.
was freaking those special effects were legit. It was better. I mean, not. It looked bigger than the battle at Blackwater. They should have had that much budget for CG back then.
That was another thing, is Sir Davos and Tyrion meeting for the first time, being on opposite ends of the Blackwater.
That was funny.
Yeah,
That
was cool.
Yeah.
Sir Davos is like a scene stealer, man. He's
a good guy.
He's good. He's not. He doesn't have any flair. He is who he is.
Yeah.
Even when he doesn't say much, like when Missandei was like, Daenerys Targaryen, break her chains, this and that.
Jon
sounding
Snow.
all
Jon Snow.
badass, and he's just like, oh, this is Jon Snow.
He's doing the same thing he did for Stannis. He would introduce Stannis and build him up, when Stannis was in front of the Iron Bank. And he's like, this is Stannis Baratheon. I'll tell you why you should vote for him. Now it's like, this is Jon Snow. I'll tell you why you need to follow him. Although he cut himself short when he got stabbed in the heart. No, shh, don't tell him that.
I wonder why they did that.
I think it's going to be some twist that somebody's like, you were brought back to life by the Red God. You must be evil. Or
maybe they would have thought, well, how do I know you're not the Night King? Because you say these guys have an army of undead, but you're technically undead.
yeah.
Or if you were such a good leader, why did your people turn on you?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons he wouldn't, or he wouldn't want people to know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he's self-conscious about it. I think the best part of the whole episode, I mean, there's a lot. There was Cersei torturing.
She gets the best torture. Like
Yep.
she got the nun lady last year, torture, and now she gets like the perfect torture for this girl.
Ilaria, that was well overdue. Her getting just tortured. Well, she didn't get tortured, but she's going to be technically tortured for the rest of her life because she has to watch her daughter basically rot in front of her.
Do you think the show ever goes back to them?
I was
No.
just going to say, did we see them again?
I hope
I
not.
don't think so.
Actually,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would make him way more permanent.
yeah.
But
And what's
Elena?
yeah,
her name, Tyrell?
the Tyrell lady.
That was the best. Obviously, there was speculation on who poisoned Joffrey. There was never any concrete.
She admitted it, though.
Yeah, this time.
When she's talking to Marjorie,
So
Did she ever really come out and say it? She said not to worry about it.
she was like, no.
I just watched the episode.
when she
Yeah,
says,
what'd she say?
Well, so Littlefinger episode before said, "I have friends who wanted him dead. You know that necklace? I put poison in it." And then Sansa's like, "But who would have done that?" And then it cuts to immediately, even while Littlefinger's still talking, to Marjorie and her grandmother in the garden. And then Marjorie more or less boils down to her saying, like, Tyrion didn't do it. But grandmother, you don't know that. I do know that. You think I'd let you marry that little monster?
I remember that.
Yeah.
And she's like, Grandma. And she's like, that's the end of it.
This is still,
So, I mean,
with all that said, it's her saying, I did it. Let
Oh,
her
yeah.
know it was me.
I assumed we all, though, the audience
Yeah.
known. But the fact that she drank the poison so quickly, like, she's not afraid of death. It's just like, okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
my time. And you get to that last little word in.
Yeah, that was great. And it shows how much Jamie has grown, because beginning of the series, she would have said that he would have chopped her head off or stabbed her or done something.
Yeah.
And this, he's not, I bet you he doesn't tell Cersei.
Well,
Because Cersei would blame him that she didn't get to torture her.
maybe. Luckily, I don't think... I thought he was going to slash her or something. But he wasn't particularly affectionate with Joffrey. Jamie, at least.
Yeah, I understand.
So much so that, he raped Cersei in front of Joffrey's dead body.
He's come a long way.
And then you think, like, I know Cersei wanted to torture the old lady Tyrell, but, like, if you remember last season, Olivia, what's her name? Elena?
Elena.
Elena didn't really do much to her except join Daenerys, which is a lot, but that's only because Cersei blew up her granddaughter, her son, and her grandson.
Yeah.
Like, just for not shits and giggles, but... So, Elena should be the one who wanted to torture Cersei, not the other way around.
Yeah. Well,
So, I assume that's why Jaime was able to talk her out of it.
she would have wanted to torture her after she found out.
Oh,
That's for sure.
For sure. So, what's Samuel Tarly's dad
Uh-huh.
is leading troops against...
Yeah.
That's
And you
seen
had
that coming.
Jorah cured
Yeah.
this episode.
So, he's going to begin the trek. Be cool if he leaves with... Well, I guess not leaving with Sam. They just said their goodbyes.
I like when any character in the show sees dragons for the first time. Like the first time Tyrion saw him was cool. Jon seeing him was cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's... And the concern on Tyrion's face when the conversation between Daenerys and Jon didn't go the way he thought it would go. You could see him just like,
Yeah.
crap.
You vouch for this man? I still do.
I like their relationship. I like that they're back on screen together.
Yeah, it's cool. I anticipate either the show's going to write a character off, or we should see him the next time we see Grey Worm. I don't know how well you remember last season, but when River Run was taken and the Blackfish died, and Brienne sailed away with Pod or whoever, what's Catelyn Stark's brother's name?
I know who you're talking about. He's got the weird teeth.
The Tully. It's something Tully. He married the Frey girl. And the Red Wedding.
Didn't he order... Isn't he the one that ordered people down once he got back in the castle?
Yeah, that was Jaime Lannister's idea. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want anybody to die, you go in there, take over. And anyway, afterwards, he sent him to Casterly Rock to be a prisoner. To live out comfortably as a prisoner.
Yeah, so we don't actually know.
He should be at Casterly Rock.
Yeah.
If he's alive.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. He's He's a very minor character. He's put in like 6 episodes now, probably.
No Arya this episode.
She's got a long journey, even though people warp places like Jon Snow's immediately
Well,
Dragonstone.
Do you really have any problems with them warping somewhere where there's no point in showing in between?
I have gotten used to it.
Yeah.
I think the first season took their time and followed like the chronological of the book, but now they can just zip, zip, zip.
Well, they need to do that. You
Like-
see that 30 million people watched the first episode?
No, really?
Yeah, it's a record of any show ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine how people streamed it, or like illegally downloaded after
Yeah.
that.
I think it was because they do DVR as well, like numbers. So I think it was like between 16 and 18 million people live.
Wow.
And that's like Walking Dead's the number one cable show, and they get like 16, 17 million people combined with DVR and watching live. This was just that many people watching live and like another 12 to 15 watching.
Yeah. Very popular.
Yeah.
Bran was in it, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with him.
Wait, Bran met Sansa.
He was
Okay,
very creepy
that's right.
too.
Yeah.
I was trying to think.
He was talking
I
about
thinking
her
about
wedding.
characters warping. He's super.
Unemotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strange. I saw something that was like Bran trying to explain the three-eyed raven to Sansa is us trying to explain Game of Thrones to our parents. Like, he's just, I'm the three-eyed raven, and there's like no questions about it. It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, when you realize everything's kind of your fault.
Yeah. When you can see everything at once, all the things that are happening. What'd you think about Littlefinger's little speech to Sansa?
Refresh my memory. I'm sorry.
It's like, you have to be waging all battles at once. You have to think of every...
That was cool. So you never be caught off guard. Anything's possible. Everything.
He's a fucking creep, though.
He's such a snake. He is such a snake.
I read something, and I don't want to read any further into it, because you know that the next episode's script's already leaked, right?
Yeah, I heard HBO got hacked.
That
Ballers.
something's coming back to that dagger that was in the first season.
Yeah, it's a Valyrian
The
steel
Valerian
dagger.
steel dagger.
It's Littlefingers. And in the previews, in the premiere pictures for this season, Arya has it in the pictures. So somehow...
Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure the last time we saw it in show.
Was a picture in the book that Sam reads when he goes to the secret area of the books at the Maester place. I forget what it's called.
The Citadel.
The Citadel. When he's at the Citadel, he goes and gets the books to read about Dragonglass and stuff. There's a picture of that dagger in the book, but the last time you see that is when Littlefinger puts it to Ned Stark's
neck?
throat.
Okay. Yeah, it would make sense that he would reclaim it. I remember in the book him tossing it around and saying, "This dagger was mine. I lost it at a tourney."
Oh, that reminds me. Jon Snow choking Littlefinger in the...
The one before?
Was that the one before? That wasn't this one before
It was
he
the
left?
one before.
Was it
Because this
towards
one
the
he just started. As soon as he got it, he was
Okay,
like,
yeah, you're right. That was great.
He's not playing any of that shit.
No.
Like Littlefinger's trying to twist his way around like, "You show me your thanks," blah, blah. And he just choking. And
Yeah.
It reminded me exactly what his Eddard Stark did. Like, he was choking Littlefinger for a little bit when...
In front of the brothel.
Yeah, exactly. Season 1. And
Except they wouldn't write Jon to make the exact same mistakes. He's going to make the same decisions with different results.
I agree. I think there's more common sense over honor. Like, in Jon Snow.
Yeah.
What else happened? I feel like some Lannister other shit happened. But, for one, I know it's the show, and I can't help it. I wonder in the books if it's going to be different. The books, everything seems more tactically sound, like characters and like armies aren't forgotten about. But last episode looked like Dorne got... For one, it was Dorne and... So the Martells and the Tyrells were against Cersei. And between them, they got to have like half the fighting army in the freaking continent.
Right.
So all the guys still in Dorne are still ready to go and fight. It was just the boats got destroyed heading down to pick them up, right? Am I not wrong? With the Sand Snakes? Those
Yeah,
are
they
empty
never
roads.
made it.
So I know the roads are not cut off, but there should be like 50,000 Dornishmen ready to freaking march up north on a moment's notice. I don't know if the show's going to completely write them off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's going to control them, though?
I mean, in the books, it could be any one of extended family, but there's like 18 different lords down there. Each one has a different keep. And if they're if they considered Ilaria Sand or whatever her name is, something like that, to be their princess now, and they find out that she's now captured and tortured in the capital,
They'll go after
they
her.
would march up there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
You think. And then it's kind of underwhelming that the Tyrells, after Tarly switched sides, granted they glossed over the battle. It could have been 20,000 on 10,000, you just didn't see it. But they should have had a huge army as well. And for that matter, the Tyrells, should have had a huge navy. And, what's his name? Euron Greyjoy. His fleet has taken out 2 other fleets on complete opposite sides of the continent. And this fleet was built in a fortnight on the Iron Islands, where the population isn't that much. They shouldn't have that many men.
Who picked up Theon?
Some other Iron Islanders.
It wasn't anybody significant?
His side. No, I assume it was just one of his captains.
Because the guy looked familiar, but...
I don't think I saw him before. I saw him before I forgot him. I assume he's loyal to Asha. Or is that her name in this? Yeah.
His sister?
Yeah, in the book it's Yara. Oh, no, in the show it's Yara.
I don't know.
Show is Yara?
In the show, it's Yara.
Okay, in book it's Asha.
Why would they change the name?
Because it sounds too much like Osha, the wildling girl.
Because Missandei and Melisandre are 2 completely different names?
What do you want me to say?
I want you to correct it. Go back.
Yeah. I'll tell the producers.
You call Mr. George R. R. Martin right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
With that said, you see that the show creators for Game of Thrones are making a new show on HBO that has to deal with the Confederacy?
Yes.
Did you
Didn't know that.
You hear more about? There's a huge backlash. And I'm not quite sure I understand what the show is, because people are pissed off. And I understand having a show about the Confederacy might piss people off, especially with the way the world is right now. From what I understood, is it's an alternate timeline similar to Man in the High Castle, where Man in the High Castle,
Yeah, World War II.
World War II, Germany and Japan won. Mm-hmm. So I've never watched it. I've wanted to watch it. I find alternate timelines extremely fascinating. Nobody has a problem with that. This to me sounded like, okay, the South never lost, so slavery never went away. The South became its own thing, and there's still slavery there. I'm like, okay, that's an alternate timeline. I can understand that.
That's very interesting.
That's interesting. I've heard this multiple times now, and somebody was trying to explain it on the radio, and I was in the truck with another coworker, and he said what he understood is the South is now seceded now during this days, and they've reinstated slavery, where they're pulling African Americans back to being slaves. And I'm like, if that's the show, that's fucked up. If the show is an alternate timeline, that's one thing. To have the current state of the United States now and reinstituting slavery, that's kind of a fucked up show.
To be honest, I think both those would sound interesting
Really?
to me. Depending how they depict it. If they don't glorify it.
How can you not glorify making money off of people that aren't getting paid? I mean, these are people that are being re-enslaved after they've already had their freedom. That's fucked.
I think slavery's bad one way or the other.
No, it is, but I mean...
Whether they're free... I think, as a concept, I know it could say that's not politically correct, but I think that is an interesting concept. Like a what if... I don't know.
I don't think we need that kind of bullshit right now, especially with people fucking shouting all over the place about just bullshit right now.
So you'd be okay with the first, not the latter?
Because that's an alternate timeline. That's slavery was okay in the South, and it never changed. It's changing to where people are free, and we're reinstituting slavery, which some of the people in the South wouldn't be too pissed off about that.
I'm curious. That's where you draw the line. So, say the show took place in 1950, and the South, alternate history, but in 1950, the South seceded again. Would that piss you off? If Civil War was won by the North, slavery went away, 100 years later...
They bring it back?
Yeah.
No,
but it's still a period piece.
I'm not okay with them bringing it back. That's fun.
It seems like a weird, line to be drawn.
Well, maybe...
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying my side.
With the first way I understood it, you're having people that are born into slavery. They're not taking people from Africa again and bringing them here where they were free people and enslaving them here. These are people that are born into slavery, and then the way he understood it, you're re-enslaving people that were born as free people? like you said, slavery's bad regardless.
Yeah.
But to say that, oh my god, I just can't. How do you show an episode of them re-enslaving people, especially now with how tumultuous, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Things are right now. You can't show that show right now. Oh my god, the backlash would be ridiculous. They'd lose all those 30 million fucking people watching Game of Thrones.
I think the PC backlash would be...
It's horrendous.
Yeah. But I don't think that would make it less interesting. Like, I mean, in a world of what-if shows, like, I think that would be kind of crazy to watch.
I have another thing to bring up real quick, too. Neither one of you guys watch Preacher?
No.
But there's somebody that's in hell in that show right now, and in hell you relive your worst memory that you ever have.
Okay.
And the one memory is that this, regardless, his kid's down there, he has to keep reliving his same memory. His next door neighbor, his cellmate, is Hitler, and I heard this on another podcast, and I was like, they make Hitler almost a sympathetic character in the show. Where you're like, oh, he's really not that... Like, there's all these other people in the hell that are so much worse. And they make reference that he's the worst person that's ever lived. But there, he seems like a sympathetic character. And there's no backlash. You don't hear about it in the news. They've made reference to Trump and how crazy he is in this last episode. And you don't hear any sort of backlash. And I'm like, how can they get away with having Hitler on their show and showing him not to be a bad guy? And there's no fucking backlash in the news.
Just what the media covers. Maybe there is a backlash.
I haven't seen anything about it. And it's not like it's a show that's like super, super hidden. That's an online show that you have to like go find out of your way to watch. It's on AMC on Monday. That's the same slot that Saul's on.
And do you think that's okay?
It takes place in hell. It's not taking place in reality. The slavery thing would be taking place in reality.
Do you think kids are going to watch it and have a more lenient view when they hear about Hitler? Like in history class?
No. If any kid ever watches Preacher, their parents are the worst parents on earth.
13-year-old kid.
It's more graphic than Walking Dead. It is horrendously graphic.
You watch horrible things at 13.
Yeah. My mom was a meth addict. We're going to keep going.
I watch fucking horrible movies.
I would not let Parker watch this at... I would let Parker watch Walking Dead at 13. I would not let him watch Preacher.
It's interesting.
Preacher is very graphic.
I watched like some trauma-esque movies back in the day. You know, like
but that's like cheesy.
Well, not for a kid. I mean, back then, I think it was convincingly real.
You think so?
Horrifying. Yeah, I'm like...
As a kid, you don't know the difference.
I remember watching... This is a horror movie that stands out in my head. But like all the horror movies back then, if you look at nowadays, all the special effects were cheesy as fuck.
Not the Thing.
No, that was legit.
I know.
I didn't watch it as a kid.
I didn't either.
But like Friday the 13th, whichever one, the mom at the end gets pulled through like a door window. Do you remember that? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I watched it on the internet the other day, and you can tell it's a Bloom character being pulled through a window. And I remember being horrified of that.
Is it like the baby in the Sniper movie?
Probably a little more fake. Barely. But Basket Case was like a horrible monster. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember. I never watched it.
It was a horrible little monster movie like this. It was like Siamese twins, but one was just basically like a head and arms, and his brother keeps him in a basket. He murders people.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
It looks stupid. Like, watching a trailer for it now, it looks just like plastic face, like people moving it. I remember as a kid being fucking horrified by that movie. I think they made 2.
Did you ever see Dead Alive, Peter Jackson's horror movie?
Only like 10 minutes of it.
Oh, God, that movie's so good.
I remember a lot of blood and a priest.
I've watched that movie half a dozen times. I loved that movie back in the day.
Army of Darkness had a lot of blood.
What, did?
Army of Darkness?
Yes.
I watched that as a kid.
Have you watched...
That's good, though. That's Evil Dead 2 is worse.
Have you ever watched Ash vs. Evil Dead?
The show?
Yeah.
I watched one episode at your house.
You should watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you want to do whatever's in your notebook, or you want to keep going?
How much time we got?
We're at 40 minutes.
We're at 40 fucking minutes?
Yeah.
Well, we'll try to make it quick. I just made like a little quiz for you guys to recap last 6 seasons of Game of Thrones.
6 seasons?
All right, heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're on 7, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Go ahead.
I think we're all pretty seasoned veterans when it comes to the show.
Or whoever answers first, or are we going to go take turns
I think
here?
you guys should answer whoever like first. Shout it out, and you guys got to be your own tiebreakers because I'm going to be not paying attention. I thought I had a pen on me so I could mark your points. There it is.
It's on your very low cut. That's a deep V, buddy.
That's a deep V.
Yeah, that's a deep
Talking
V.
about a vagina?
No, I'm talking about your V-neck.
Oh.
It goes down to almost your nipples.
Be careful who you say deep V in front of.
Why?
That means deep vagina.
Is that a problem?
For some.
I don't understand.
Cavernous-esque.
Okay. Well, let's continue.
Okay, season 1. No particular order in the season. I'll give you guys like points by like season. So whoever wins most seasons overall.
Okay. I'm going to be terrible at this.
Maybe not. So, first answer, shout out, that's right. Don't shout out multiple answers. Just try to do one.
I'm so bad with names, and everything's going to be a name.
Eddard Stark found how many direwolf pups that he gave to her children?
4.
It's more than 4. It's 6 or 7.
6.
You said 4. I'll say 6.
It is 6. I don't know if I should say, you guys should say final answer.
Well, I was going to say
He
6.
won.
Yeah, I got that one. I'm all about giving him the answer if he got it, but I was just counting kids because he got one for each kid. And it's Rob, John, Sansa, Arya, Bran, and
Rickon.
Rickon. I could never remember.
Who unseated the mountain at the Hand's tourney?
Tyrell, Knight of the Flowers?
Yeah. Loras Tyrell.
I couldn't think of his first name.
I would have taken Knight of the Flowers, it's fine.
I need to watch that again. Was it a good... Because obviously the mountain's huge. He wasn't as big then because it was a different guy.
Well, doesn't the mountain go to fight him and then the hound steps in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he cut his horse's head off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see the budget they had now back then because the tourney is it's like 80 extras maybe down the line. But you can imagine now if they did it, they'd have all these CG characters. What did Magister Iliomopatis give Daenerys as a wedding gift?
Dragon eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 dragon eggs. The Night's Watch recruits are sorted into 3 groups. Rangers, Stewards, and what?
Squires? I don't know. Soldiers.
Nope.
Rangers, stewards, and... I don't know this
Pick
one.
to the Stewards.
What's the
What's
answer?
the name to the Rangers?
No.
Too much dead air.
This would be no point.
No point.
The Builders.
Oh,
I wouldn't have got that.
I wouldn't have got that either.
What did Arya name her sword that Jon Snow gave her?
Needle.
Yeah. The first small sword that came to my mind was Sting, but I knew that wasn't.
Who did Tyrion name as his champion in Trial by Combat?
Braun. Half point each.
No.
Oberyn Martell.
No.
And what name is champion and what?
Trial by Combat.
Which one? Which Trial by Combat?
Himself.
Season 1, it's Braun.
That's not season 1.
Jon volunteered.
Oh.
Tyrion.
His brother, Jaime Lannister.
Oh yeah. Nice.
3 for Anthony.
Son of my brother. He'll come. He's leagues away, the Kingslayer. Okay, so being that you got 3 right and Robert got 2, what we're gonna do? There's at the end of every season, there's like it could be a tiebreaker round. It has to do with houses. So I'm gonna give you the choice which house to pick. You know what the question is gonna be, but pick House Stark, Lannister, or Baratheon. Anthony.
You had more points, yeah.
Baratheon.
Robert, between the 2 remaining.
Lannister.
Okay, what are your house words?
Oh shit.
Lannisters always pay their debts.
A common phrase, but not their official house motto.
I know.
So said
I know the
so said
Lannister
Master
one.
Lewin.
I know yours. I
It's-
don't know mine though.
Something with lions. No, it is, right?
I'm not gonna give you a hint because I know it. I just don't know mine.
You're not going to get Baratheon.
I'm not gonna get Baratheon. That sucks. I should have picked Lannister.
Well, as long as you both know it, you win season 1.
Yeah.
It is Hear Me Roar.
Okay.
Ours is the Fury.
Yeah, I never would have remembered
That's...
that.
Lannisters always pay their debts is way better than Hear Our Roar.
Yeah. So, that's an Anthony.
Yeah.
Season 1, he knows his stuff.
Cool.
Season 2. Tyrion had a boatload of what that he blew up in Blackwater Bay?
Wildfire.
Correct. What was the third name that Ira gave to Jaqen Hagar to offer up to the Red God? A man needs 3 names. He must but say a name, and a man will do the business.
The third name?
Yeah. She did 1, 2, killed guy.
It's
I'm not even gonna try.
hold on, let me see. Sir Marin? Was it Marin?
No.
Oh, dang it.
I have no idea.
Jaqen Hagar.
Oh,
You've
of
named a
course.
man's name. Unname me. No. Help us escape. That would take more than 1 name.
And he kills all those people.
Yeah, so she said, then Jaqen Hagar. This girl, you are not a good girl. When Brienne of Tarth won the melee at Bitterbridge, what did she ask of King Renly? He said, you may have anything.
That she serve him?
More...
To be on his Kingsguard.
That's correct. Serving's a little vague. She wanted to be part of his Kingsguard, which women don't do, which he allowed. So, for the Night's Watch, 1 horn blast means Rangers returning. 2 means wildlings. What's 3?
White Walkers. Because I remember that scene where it was like, you heard the third one for the first time and people were like shitting their pants.
The last shot of season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the greatest city that has ever been or ever will be?
Greatest city?
Yeah, that has ever been or ever will be.
I don't know.
Dorne?
I think it's season 2, if it helps you at all.
Where were they at in season 2? Where they were...
I don't know.
somewhere... Was it on... not on Westeros. Well, where was Cersei... Where did Daenerys start? What land did she start in?
The Dothraki Sea. Yeah, she started episode 1 in Pentos.
No, I mean, but like, what was the first city she ended up... I don't really care.
Was it Marine?
Want me to tell you the answer? Because that's
Go
what
ahead.
it is. Karth.
Okay.
She spent all season 2, well, except for 2 episodes, in Karth. Sir Davos Seaworth is known as...
Onion Knight.
So, it's Robert. Nothing, Anthony. So, this bonus point will be for nothing, because Robert's going to win this season. But, Robert, pick from House Stark, Lannister, or Greyjoy.
Is it going to be the same question? I mean...
No.
What was it? Stark? What?
Lannister or Greyjoy?
Lannister. I don't want to pick a house.
I go with Stark.
Okay. What are their house castle? Like, what's their castle?
Winterfell.
Casterly Rock.
Yeah. Point.
That was an easy one. I could have told
Okay,
you.
then tell me the Greyjoy castle.
What is it, the Iron Isles? I don't know what the castle is.
So it wasn't that easy, was it?
Well, nobody picked the Greyjoys. What's the castle name?
Pike.
Nice. I could have told you the castle for the Boltons.
What is it?
It's a Dreadfort.
Nice.
You guys were the Boltons.
And the Martells?
Yeah, I don't. They just said it.
I may have said Tyrell.
Oh, they said Martells? I don't know. Go ahead.
It's not Highgarden, is it?
That's Tyrell.
That's Tyrell. He's talking said Martell. I don't know. What is it?
Sunspear. Okay, season 3. What did Robb Stark's wife decide to name her unborn child?
Charlie Chaplin.
Incorrect.
After her grandfather.
Ned.
I might give it
Eddard.
to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddard. Right before she got stabbed.
Allegedly.
And she said, don't you want to see little Eddard ride a horse or something?
They didn't both agree on the name.
He said, like, what things you give you the right you'd pick my son's name? We're going to name him Eddard. He's like, I would like that, okay.
But the kid was never born, so you never know if they would have changed their decision.
I said unborn child, so you lose, sir.
You're just twisting the rules.
Who revealed Ira's identity to the Brotherhood without banners? She was captured by them, but they didn't know who she was till somebody said her name.
If
If you remember the Brotherhood without banners, Beric Dondarrion.
Was it a Hot Pie?
No.
No. It wasn't Hot Pie. It wasn't Gendry. The Hound?
Correct.
That's I was going to say the Hound,
They
but
captured
I
him
didn't. I thought that was too. I didn't think he would have let them know who she was.
What are you doing with the Stark bitch?
Yeah.
Who was the knight that foiled the warlock assassination attempt on Daenerys and then became part of her Queen's Guard?
I don't remember his name. I know exactly what he looks like, but
What was the question?
Who's the guy who joined Daenerys' Queen Guard after he saved her from an assassination attempt?
you don't even know.
Dario. Was it Dario?
No.
He's
Good enough guess.
Anyway, it was the old guy with the white hair. He was on the Kingsguard and he left and he went over the sea.
Sir Bannister?
Very close. I don't know if I should... Sir Barristan.
Barristan, that's what it was. Okay.
No point? Is he described it to him?
But I don't care. I'm not going to win this one anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Bran and Rickon, on the way to the wall, were found by the Reeds, the brother and sister, Jojen and who?
Mira?
Correct.
Yeah.
Tywin rewarded Tyrion for its efforts in the battle with a seat on the small council and this job title,
Coin.
Master of Coin. Jaime rescued Brienne in a pit with what kind
A
of
bear.
animal?
You didn't even finish your question.
Because I knew the answer already.
What an asshole answer.
All right. Pick your house: Targaryen, Martell, or Frey.
I'll pass. Next one. He won it. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Targaryen.
no, just to test your knowledge.
Frey.
What are the sigils?
A three-headed dragon.
Correct.
No idea.
Bridge with 2 towers.
That's a shitty sigil.
Yeah. Some
For
people have
shitty
lame
people.
ones.
No kidding.
Anthony.
Regardless of how this goes, if it's not over in 9 minutes, I'm ending this episode.
Yeah, season 4.
Okay, so you have 8 minutes.
Daenerys took over 3 slave cities: Astapor, Marine, and what?
I don't know the answer to this question.
I don't know either. Is it the one you said already?
I don't think so.
Okay, then I have no idea.
Yunkai.
Karth?
No.
Eddard Stark's Valyrian steel sword, Ice, was melted down into 2 separate swords: Widow's Wail and what?
I don't fucking
I
know.
only knew Widow's Wail. That was the only one I knew. I don't know the other one.
I'll tell you, the other one was given to Brienne.
Oathkeeper.
That is correct.
You gave fucking what kind of quiz is this? You're giving hints.
You had the hint too.
What? I gave it to him as an opponent. You can't give it to him as the person that knows the answers.
I'm giving you both like the same equal hint.
What hint? Oh, I wasn't answering
You
that. I already
heard it
given
too.
it up. Yeah, but if I say I don't know the answer, I'm not going to try to answer it then.
Okay. What kind of poison killed Joffrey?
No clue.
I don't know.
I can't remember if it said in the show.
Wait, give him a hint so he can answer after you already
so
said
I'll
he doesn't know
rephrase
the
this.
answer.
Where was the poison hidden that killed Joffrey?
In a necklace.
You already said that on this episode.
What do you want me to say, Robert? I can't rewrite the quiz. Tyrion warned his father not to say a certain word. The second time he said it, he shot him with an arrow.
Whore.
That's correct.
Oh, I stopped answering.
Come on, Robert.
No, I'm a sore loser, man. Keep going.
That's where Parker gets it from.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Who killed Egret?
That little shitbag.
I don't know his name.
You do.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, you do. You named one of your children after him.
I know. I'm not going to answer it.
Well, no, I don't want. I know what it is, but just because you said that.
What's his name?
No, you can't even
I
do
just
that.
don't know if you know.
Can't, no, you
He's
can't
a-
do that
he's a
because
fan.
he gave you a hint before and
I'm
you
not-
still answered it. He gave you a hint now and you won't answer it?
But you're not even playing anymore.
I know.
Yeah, I guess it's Ollie.
That's correct. I'm surprised you didn't know that, Robert.
Yeah, I've never heard that name before.
Who did Littlefinger tell Lysa Arryn was the only person he loved?
That question
Your
wasn't
sister.
written properly.
No, I just wrote notes. I didn't write it out. So, Littlefinger told Lysa Arryn he loved only one person in his
Your
life.
sister.
Yeah,
It's
fair enough.
fine. He didn't say a name.
He does say exactly that.
I don't know. He sure is going hard after Sansa right now.
Yeah, that's true. She must look like her. Bolton, Martell, or Arryn?
Bolton.
Martell.
What are the bastard names if somebody was born to that family?
Snow.
Correct.
What was yours? What was your house?
Martell? I don't know. I didn't know they had bastards.
Sand.
Correct.
Oh, I was thinking of Tyrell for some reason.
That would be Flower. Season 4 goes to Anthony.
I don't know. I think it should go to Corey, too. Half the answers were kind of given away
Corey 2's not even playing.
as well.
Season 5. This is where you're really going to remember, Robert. You win these last 2 seasons, you got it.
Yeah, I'm not playing anymore.
I'm
I only play when it's fair. I don't play when people give people answers.
not looking like Adam whispering in his ear. I elaborate on my questions because they're like notes. I don't know how hard they are.
You're like making like direct eye contact with him and saying Anthony.
I'm mouthing it to him.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. Once the edit of this comes out, you're gonna look like the asshole.
Yeah. What was the name of the group of religious zealots who worshipped the seven?
The High Sparrows?
Who said it first?
He said the Sparrows.
You should
the
give
High
it.
Sparrows the leader.
You should give it to Anthony.
I just did.
Did you really?
No. What was the group of the masters who were murdering people in Marine?
Pyramid.
The Masters?
No.
Oh, the Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah.
It's fucking 400 degrees in here.
Yes, it is very hot.
What was the name of the... I don't know. It's not even town. The place on the coast in the north where the wildlings were slaughtered and then risen as the dead.
Hard Home.
Correct.
It's a hard place to live.
Arya killed which Kingsguard and then for it lost her sight?
Sir Marin.
That's actually right. I'm surprised you had remembered his name.
He said it earlier.
Yeah, even then, I'm surprised.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cersei's Walk of Atonement was followed by a bell and this word.
Shame! See, I let him finish the question, Anthony.
Slavers
Jeopardy.
believe what part of dwarves
Wiener.
to be magic?
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's like, and he said, let's cut it off. And
I was going to say no.
how will you know it's a dwarf cock?
I was just kidding. I was going to say wiener regardless.
It'll be smaller. Don't bet on it. All right.
Human horn?
I'm not going to do the tiebreaker this one. It's not. I don't think I can freeze into a question very well. So, and Robert's going to win anyway.
No, give it to Anthony. You give everything else to Anthony. It's because he hasn't been on the podcast so long.
I give him my heart. All right. This is why Hodor got his name. From what phrase?
Holding the door.
Hold the door. Yeah.
That leaked out before that episode was on, too.
People theorized about it.
And then everybody put it on the elevator things.
Small John Umber presented. He had Rickon Stark, and to prove he was the real Rickon, he presented what to?
His direwolf's head.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's great. I don't have it written down as a question. So, how did Daenerys kill the Khals that had her held captive?
Lit them on fire?
Yeah, you say.
Burn the place down?
Yeah.
Why was there no question about pouring gold on somebody's head? That was like one of the best death scenes, right?
Yeah.
Can you even imagine? That'd be terrible.
Might be pretty quick. I mean, there were worse death, I think, on the show. I don't know.
I think the single worst way to die is being eaten alive. Because you're going to be alive while things take bites out of you.
Yeah, that'd be awful. I think that's what freaks me out about zombie movies so bad is like when someone just gets torn apart by like a horde of zombies. It's just like,
yeah,
gotta be the worst thing ever.
Do you think like 4 guys could tear you apart like right now, like they do in zombie movies?
Yeah.
You think like 4 guys can stretch you out and then reach into your stomach and start pulling it apart?
If they're mad enough.
If they're mad enough,
I don't think like. Can you imagine getting your fingernails like zombies? For one, I think they rip people apart way too easy. Like this is undead flesh, like rip it apart. We gotta finish.
Yeah.
Who was the rider in black that saved Mira and Bran from the Whites? After
It's
Ed's brother.
yeah, I can't remember his name though.
that's what I want.
Yeah, I know.
I think it starts with a B.
Benjen Stark.
Yeah, there you go.
Give him the point. I wouldn't have got it without him.
I wanted to say Balon, but I knew it wasn't Balon.
When Sam and Gilly leave his household at Horns Hill, what does he steal?
There's a father's sword.
Yeah. I was hoping for something more particular, but I don't think in the world you guys would ever... Is Valerian steel sword?
Yeah.
His ancient one, but... Who got it first?
He said sword first.
He said father's sword.
Fuckers. What killed Ramsey?
Dogs. His own dogs.
Yeah.
It was a shame, too. It's a good character.
Okay. Pick a household. Bolton, Frey, Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
Bolton.
Season 6. Who killed the head of the household of that family?
Ramsey.
Euron.
Yeah. And Frey was Arya. So that one went to
You know,
Robert.
my theory about Sansa never came true. I had a theory at the end of last season that Sansa was pregnant with Ramsay's
I know, I got that same feeling.
Shit fuckers is tied.
You have a tiebreaker?
I thought of one in the car. I didn't think it would come to it. So this is going to require
I don't really care. It's over.
somebody to say this answer and say final answer immediately when they're sure. If they say final answer, they cannot guess again.
Okay.
And the second person can take as long as he wants to think about it.
Okay.
So, knowing
I'm
that,
not going to answer.
that's fine, but you will lose if you are wrong. Or if he gets it right.
I'm just going to end the episode. Go ahead.
Alright. As of where we are right now in the show, how many dire wolves are living?
2, final answer.
You believe that, Robert?
I really don't know, so I'll say one final answer.
It is 2.
Yeah, that's what's up.
It was Ghost and Nymeria.
Oh, yeah. They just showed it.
Yeah.
Where is Ghost?
He's cruising around eating people somewhere.
Did they not show him this season?
No.
No.
He should be with him.
I think they cut out his scene is what they said on Movie Pilot.
Okay. Like, even for the Battle of the Bastards, I don't remember Ghost even being part of it.
Nope.
But he's still around. And, to be honest, I looked this one up because I forgot what happened to Summer. Died under the tree right before Holdor. He got
Cool.
stabbed by like 80 guys.
We got to end